It's me, Bastion. Um, I couldn't sleep tonight, so I decided to play another round of the house in Fata Morgana. Last time we left off, believe it was just after the party. Mel had talked to the girl with white hair. Stuff like, what does lock mean? Does it mean like it locks it? That's cool. He just got done talking to the girl in white hair, and then I don't know what happened before that. You have my thanks, Father. And I apologize for being late today. Now there's something unusual. You're not being punctual. Maybe next time we'll go a whole month without rain. Do have mercy on next year's crops, Mel. You hyperbolize, Father. So did something nice happen? Huh? You look like you're in good spirits. Do I? No, nothing. Something did happen, didn't it? It's all over my face, isn't it? People prefer an open book to a face of a stone. So it is. People may prefer it. People may prefer it, but it's not a good trait to have for social engagements. What? Not the kind of engagement you'll be having, anyway. I'm sorry. Don't look so dejected. For now, at least, there's nothing wrong with that. So tell me, what has you in such a joyous mood, Mel? You torment me so, Father. We've taken on another maid. You know how that goes, right? Someone new comes, and things get lively for a while. All the excitement has gotten to me, that's all. Oh ho. Why are you looking at me like that? No reason, no reason. So what family does the little lady come from? Oh, I don't actually know. You don't know? I was going to ask her, but I missed my chance. Father has returned home, and I can't speak to Mother. I see. She's caught your eye, hasn't she? Yeah, she has. But the truth is, you're more than just interested in her, are you not? No, I... You truly do enjoy tormenting me. Well, I should be getting home now. Mel? Yes? Make certain you find out where she's from. If you're genuinely interested in her, it's your responsibility to determine if she's actually suitable for you. Thank you, and excuse me. It doesn't matter if she's from an esteemed family or not. No, I'm not in love with her. I'm just interested. This isn't love, no. It couldn't be. This is me we're talking about. Besides, I hardly even know her. Young sire, blessed young sire, alms for the poor. It's the same beggar as before. I don't think he's moved since then, but he looks skinnier than last time. He's going to have trouble making it through the summer. I should give him something while I still have the chance. Alms for the poor, have mercy. Sorry, but this is all I have to give you. Thank you very much. Blessings upon you. May the Lord bless your soul, young sire. Thanks. I felt bad for him, but that's just the way of the world. Farewell. The skies are really clear. The sun shone fiercely down on the town that day. As was characteristic of the area, cloudy days and rain were frequent during this season, but the sun almost always took the stage the day after a storm. The cathedral standing tall in the center of town, the stone-paved streets clacking with the pleasant sound of footsteps, the people peering out from beneath awnings to look up at the sky. In Mel's eyes, it was as if they were all blessed by a divine light. However, not everyone living in the same land was equally blessed. In fact, the blessed were far outnumbered by the forsaken. Even if their time would come later to be referred to as the Golden Age. Elsewhere, back at the mansion, Nellie was calling Jim trouble for all the Abigails. On a whim, she had decided to redecorate her bedchamber, so she gathered the maids and put them to work, shouting orders and demands and complaints. And she had not summoned only her personal servants, but others as well, including the white-haired girl. No, not like that. How many times must I tell you? The tapestry goes by the door, and I don't like the carpet's pattern. Is there anything else we can change it with? Hey, who put this ugly vase here? Nellie appeared rather irritated, and it was the servants who bore the brunt of her frustration. Though, if they found this similarly vexing, none of them showed it. She was a girl who spoke her mind, a trait particular to that time in history. Women of the Golden Age were so vivacious, in fact, that it inspired parody and satire in foreign countries. But no matter how hands-off her parents were, had Nellie been born a generation earlier or a generation later, she likely would not have been able to act so free-spirited. That day, however, Nellie did not seem to be her usual self. Though she always spoke her mind, it rarely went beyond being childishly adorable. It was unusual to see her in such a foul mood, not even a smile on her face. Get rid of it all. The carpet, the chair, the desk, it's all so ugly. Don't we have anything better? And if we don't, then order it. Have it made. You can do that much, can't you? Hurry up and replace them. Having only arrived that morning, the white-haired girl was unsure what she was supposed to be doing, caught in the middle of a flurry of maids and furniture and fabric. She chased frantically, scrambling Abigail's with her eyes, and made attempts to help, but not being familiar with the work, she only ended up getting in the way. She probably felt that everyone would be better off with her not in the room. So when the maids ordered to get new furniture made their way out of Nellie's room, she attempted to follow them. You hold on a second. You, yes you, with the white hair. However, Nellie stopped before she could take her leave. What? The white-haired girl turned back, bewildered to find Nellie smiling at her. The corners of her mouth turned into a self-assured grin. There was no trace of timidity or uncertainty in her demeanor. Her flaxen eyes seemed like they would look nice under the light of the sun. Almost the exact opposite of the white-haired girl's. I wanted to talk to you, actually. Mother never was one to share. I asked her to trade maids, but she wouldn't have it. Trade, you mean for? Which is why I decided to completely redecorate my room, because then I would need some extra hands. But why? Because Mother and Father refused to tell me anything. Why is that? Who are you exactly? Where did you come from? Tell me, what house are you from? Why can't you tell me? If we took you in, you must be from a fairly decent family. As a member of the Rhodes family, I have a right to know. Do I not? You can't expect me to welcome a girl into my home who won't even tell me where she came from. I don't know anything about you. I haven't seen you at any parties. I came from another country. Another country? What country? Somewhere very, very far away. Oh. North of here? East? West? South? South. It was south of here. I crossed the sea to get here, which is why we'd never met before. How far did you have to travel, then? How many times did the sun rise, and how many stormy nights did you face? Innumerable days and nights we sailed, heading even further north. Huh. So tell me, Lady Nellie, that is a most wonderful painting. She just tried to brush me off. She just tried to brush me off. I won't let her get it away that easily. Painting, it's in my room, so of course it's wonderful. But that one's especially so. You're both so adorable. You, Lady Nell, and Lord Mel. How old were you when it was painted? Huh? Ah, that painting. Goodness, yes, you have a good eye for art. It is magnificent, isn't it? This was done when I was 4 and Mel was 7. You see how we're standing next to each other, holding hands? I was too young to remember it very well, but Mel looks like he was really embarrassed. But standing there, like statues, makes for a boring painting. Nellie explained brightly. Having completely forgotten she was pressed up against the white-haired girl, she did a little twirl, stopping to face the portrait. Though many paintings lined the walls of her room, Nellie was most fond of the one of her and her brother. 2 darling siblings standing side by side, the older brother smiling kindly, and the younger sister sweetly tilting her head, her cheeks the color of fresh-picked apples. It was like the very embodiment of their happiness. A painting lays its subjects bare. You know, fortune and misfortune, happiness and sorrow, enshrined on canvas for all to see. And this reflection is not merely limited to the point in time it was made either. Did you know, Master, that paintings are alive? They are drawn with a brush over an extended stretch of time, unlike photographs which capture a singular moment. The two have their own individual merits, but a photograph is still, while a painting moves. Portraits reveal both the past and the present state of those they depict. Mel and I have always been close. I would sing songs for him and he would teach me all sorts of things. He's so smart. Nowadays, Mel hardly goes on walks with me, making excuses like, I'm an adult now. But we used to spend a lot of time playing together in the rose garden. I see. The white-haired girl, normally, had difficulty smiling, but her lips naturally curled upward as Nellie reminisced. A vision of the 2 happy siblings had probably swelled up in her mind, and I imagine there is a faint trace of envy in her heart as well. Lady Nellie, you love Lord Mel quite deeply, I see. Yes, of course I do. Mel's smart, and he's studious, and he's incredibly kind. For my birthday, he gave me this wonderful rose necklace. The jewelry shop he got it from is famous because even the royal family makes commissions from the workshop. So he had to have ordered it months in advance. Just for me. He's a prince. Oh? He's pretty charming, wouldn't you say? That's why I call him my prince. But you know what? Mel is a terrible dancer, and he still hasn't gotten his feet on the ground yet. And he's so bad at interacting with girls. So there's no one else who would say that about him. He is quite the gentleman. I assume women would be drawn to him. Gentleman? Have you met Mel already? This morning, briefly. That reminds me, Mel seemed to know about her too. What do you think about Mel? As I said, he's a gentleman. That's not what I mean. Don't think I'll let you get away with putting any funny ideas in his head. What? Mel is too trusting, he's pure of heart, so I won't stand for you trying to take advantage of him. I would never. So you say, but you actually want to get close to him. I wouldn't dream of it, Lady Nellie. He's a man far beyond my reach. You aren't planning on doing anything, are you? Not at all. You don't have any romantic feelings for him, do you? What? Well, do you? I have no romantic feelings for him, Lady Nellie. And you won't develop any? I will not. And with that, Nellie gave a wide, satisfied grin. Even though one has no way of knowing how another truly feels, or how they might have in the future. Jeez, I cannot read again. You wouldn't you? Now that I think about it, there's plenty of other boys. You getting together with Mel is downright absurd. Indeed. But anyway, back to what we were talking about earlier. Your family. I almost forgot. You haven't told me exactly where you came from, or anything about your... Lady Nellie! I brought a new carpet. Just look at the embroidery. The work of a true artisan. I'm simply in love with it. Surely you will find it to your liking as well. Wow, you're right. That's such a Florentine stitch, isn't it? I wonder whether someone mimicked the style, or if it was imported. Either way, a great find. Let's hurry up and get it laid out. Oh, and we'll have to see how the colors go with everything else. We have to finish redecorating quickly, so I can show Mel. He'd be so surprised. What wonderful taste you have, Nellie. When the other Abigails returned, so did too to the bustle within Nellie's room. As the white-haired girl watched, a faint smile crossed her lips. Perhaps it was relief from having escaped Nellie's inquisition, or perhaps... Nellie, I'm back. Did you eat something you're not supposed to, dear Smell? You're unusually cheerful. I'm the same as always. Anyway, never mind that, dear Smell. Take a look at my room. I redecorated today. So that's what you've been doing, hiding away in the house all day, Nellie? How is that any different than what you were doing? You were at the church all day. I guess. I will look at your room, I promise. But first, do you know where the new maid is? Now, don't get any strange ideas. I just haven't had the chance to introduce myself, as I thought I should, as a member of the family. Except you have, and I know it. Being the eldest son, it would be shameful if she were to pass me in the halls, not even knowing who I am, so... Don't ask me. What? But you were in the house all day. She attends the mother, so why would I know where she is? Though she did help me redecorate my room. You made her help? Let's work for manservants. There was no reason to make the maids do it. Oh, so you're saying I should invite a bunch of men into my room? I go into your room all the time, Nellie. You were just in my bedchamber this morning. Only one man is allowed in my room, dear Smell, and that is you. So unless you become a servant, which I will not stand for, I will not ask any of them for help. Oh, Nellie. You ought to be a little more... A little more what? If you're going to lecture me, I won't hear it. What am I going to do with you, my little lady? What? What? Why are you looking at me like that? We talked about you, dear Smell. And I'm not going to tell you what she said. About me? What did she say? Please, Nellie. She said she has no romantic interest in you. Why did that even come up? Because we're both girls. We talk about things like what boys we like and who's the most handsome. Why do you look so downtrodden, dear Smell? You look like a sad little boy who can't even get his crush to notice him. The face is unbecoming of a prince, Mel. Are you interested in her? That's strange. You haven't even met. I am not. It's just depressing to find out someone you've never even met doesn't like you. That's all. If I'm going to make my move, I must do so soon. I don't have much time. The master of this house isn't around, so next in line would be him. That painting. Maybe she's an assassin. Ooh. Despite his near devastation by Nellie's news, Mel's flaxen eyes continued to wander in hopes of catching sight of the girl. By now, it should be quite obvious to you what Mel is feeling. But the boy himself was having difficulty comprehending the things going through his heart. Emotionally, he was horribly unstable, like a ship without a sail. And still, every time he spotted the white-haired girl, his heart would leap, his whole body would jitter with anxiety and excitement. He had never felt anything like this before, and as such, he struggled to keep these strange emotions in check. Whenever he saw an opportunity, Mel would speak to the white-haired girl. And days he was unable to, he either spent in secluded silence or a distracted daze. Love is a curious thing. It has the power to change those who experience it. When he did manage to approach her, he tripped over his tongue. Again and again he talked to her, and again he was stumbled. I imagine, if you were to take him to see a romance at the theater in his present state, he would cry just as much as little Nellie. We cry at tragedies because we draw parallels with our own lives. At least, that is what I think. Great tales of romance attain true gravity within the audience only when they are personally familiar with love. In any event, the white-haired girl was, as a result of this, visibly perturbed. She was delighted that he was being so kind to her, but confusion overpowered every other emotion. Sorry. She appeared to be at a loss for what to do as he clumsily catapulted words and stares at her. But Mel did not back down, though he probably knew not what caused such fiery emotion to erupt from within his breast. One's first love, in particular, tends to burn like a wildfire. Are you familiar with the sensation, Master? Oh. Ah. There she is. Is she cleaning? No. It looks like she's reading. It's now or never. Ah. Sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. Lord Mel, you very clearly meant to scare me. Sorry, once again, jeez. Because you just wouldn't notice me. What are you reading? You look pretty engrossed. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have asked for permission. It's fine, no need to apologize. Feel free to read whatever you want, and you're more welcome to bring books back to your room if you'd like to spend more time with them. But I was just amazed that the mansion had a library. Must have been a lot of work to collect all these books. There are some pretty old books in here too. Your grandfather's? Some that he collected, and some even older than that. Take a look at this. I think it's a diary, but not from this country. Or this century, for that matter. Maybe a feudal lord? Here he is complaining about the quality of the harvest. Can this forsaken land only produce over sour grapes? Ah, if only the largest of the Um, Barney? Or maybe Barnier. If only the largest of the Barnier estates were mine instead. The land there is much more suitable to cultivation. There you have it. You can read this, Lord Mel? More or less. I've looked over it several times already, so that wasn't too difficult. Why would such an old book be here? I'm not sure. It and all of this was already here when I moved into the mansion. Have you not lived here your whole life? I was born at our estate. But to me, and Nell, this is more like our home. We moved when I was still young, and we lived here ever since. Nellie and Mother have both grown quite fond of it. Father, though, often goes back to the house because he doesn't like all the roses. By himself? Yeah, well, sometimes Mother goes with him. But for the most part, he goes alone. But don't get me wrong, it's not because they don't get along. In fact, they act more like teenagers in love than grown adults. It almost makes me sick having to watch it. It is a wonderful thing to be close. To be so close, no matter how old they may be. True, but still. There are those in the world who cannot be with the ones they care for as much as they may wish. I'm sorry about that. Oh, that's right, the book. What were you reading? I, wasn't exactly reading. I do not enjoy reading lots of text, so I was looking at the pictures. Is that so? You seem very cultured, so I thought you would be partial to reading. Perhaps you're actually more like Nellie, and eschew your studies. Yes. I would have guessed. But you like looking at pictures? I do. What else do you like? What? What do you enjoy doing? It can be anything. I enjoy being told stories. Stories? Yes, when I was young, my father would tell me tales. What kind of stories did you like? There was one about an imprisoned girl. Tell it to me. Once, there was a girl, and she was locked away in a mansion deep in the forest. A mansion with only one window. But the window sat high up on the wall, far beyond her reach. So it was always very dark inside, unlike this mansion. However, oops. However, the girl did not like the outside world. There were lots of scary things out there after all. Though she may have been all alone in the mansion, she grew comfortable with the darkness in time. She had nothing to be afraid of. And then, um, am I doing a good job? You're doing fine. Keep going. What happens next? Okay. And then the girl grew up. By then, she had already forgotten why she was locked up, but she was content with the darkness. However, her eyes couldn't help but be drawn to the little bit of light that spilled through the one window. Jeez. Though she was uncomfortable in the darkness, the sight of the light had made her heart race. At first, the girl thought it was because she found it unpleasant, because she disliked the light and the outside. But she slowly came to realize that she was curious about the outside world. What could be happening out there? For all she knew, the town, the forest, the people, all of it could have changed while she was imprisoned in the mansion. But she had no way of finding out. So the girl decided to write letters and throw them out her window. What began as an empty grasping became routine, continuing for several months until she was finally ready to give up. But then a beautiful white dove flew in through the window. The dove, tied to the dove's leg, was a letter. Her heart racing, she read the words contained within. It seemed to have been written by a man. The letters contained numerous questions for the girl. It also said that if she attached her reply to the dove, it would bring the letter back to him. She was astonished, but she wrote him back anyway, taking care not to mention where she was. After having exchanged letters a number of times, the two felt very close to one another, as though they had known each other for many years despite having never met. And eventually, the man said he wanted to meet her. Indeed, the girl was unsure of what to do. Should she tell him of how she lived? Should she reveal where she spent her days? She was afraid if she did, he would send to seize her letters. She was sure he believed her to be a young lady of noble blood, and not a girl locked away in a house deep in the forest. The girl could not bring herself to write a response. She released the dove through the window with nothing attached to its leg, and yet it returned with another letter, written in the man's familiar hand. You must surely have a grave reason for your silence, it said. I would like to know that reason, and I would like to help you. No matter what it may be, you have my word. She deliberated. Though his letters were kind and she did not know the man, he was from the outside. Would he treat her the same way when he met her? And did she even want to step out into the world beyond? What do you think she did? Wrote a letter and agreed to meet him, right? Yes, she did. The girl made up her mind she would write a letter, and as always, when she tied it to the dove's leg, it flew off out the window. And for some time after that, she received no response from the man. This saddened her, but she thought it was for the best. She belonged in her own confined world, her world of darkness. Then one day, light shone into the mansion. The sealed door had opened, and in the doorway stood a young, handsome man. I have come for you, he said. The man was a prince of a neighboring kingdom. When the girl stepped outside, before her sat a magnificent carriage, the likes of which she had never before seen, accompanied by many servants. The prince, kind as in the letters, swore his love to her, and the two lived happily ever after. Ah, what a nice story. I'm glad it had a happy ending. Prince, was there something funny about the story? No, that's not why I was laughing. Do you ever imagine what it would be like if a prince showed up for you? Huh? It doesn't have to be a real prince, just even someone like one. Is that something you dream about? Oh, no. I think I'm perhaps a little too old for that. You think so? Nellie still fantasizes about her prince, and she's 14. I just assumed all girls were the same. Lady Nellie's prince. That's you, Lord Mel. No? What? Is it not? I mean, we used to play make-believe a lot when we were little kids, but I very much doubt she still thinks of me that way in earnest. When she calls me her prince now, it's mostly in jest. If it weren't, that would be concerning. Oh. That story. Do you know if it's a regional tale? One that's been passed down through the ages? I'm not sure. It could very well be one of my father's own creation. You might think me conceited, but I think the story might be about me. The girl trapped in the mansion is you? You haven't been locked up anywhere before, have you? No, thankfully. I've never been locked up before. Thank goodness. With an appearance like mine, I can sympathize with her being afraid of the outside world. I have, at times, imagined how wonderful life would be if it were only me and my father. But the girl left the house in the end. If your father really wrote that story, then I believe it contains his hope for you to end up the same way. Oh. I don't have what it takes to be a real prince and whisk you away, but I can at least pretend. So if it were your So, if it was your father's wish for you to see the outside world, then surely there's nothing wrong with you getting out and experiencing all the scenery that world has to offer. I want to see the outside too. Or to be more specific, other countries. So, so, if you'd like, we could maybe go see some distant lands together. Ah, dearest Mel, I've been looking all over for you. Nellie, look at this, dearest Mel. Mother brought me these wonderful gloves to wear on walks. The roses embroidered on the wrist are just precious. Oh my, you're right. They are beautiful. You appear to be dizzy, Lord Mel. Are you feeling unwell? No, I'm fine. Mel was feeling frustrated at his inability to convey his feelings to her. And as this frustration built up over time, he developed, I suppose you could call it, a severe case of lovesickness. For several consecutive nights, he had been afflicted with a peculiar sensation, a presence in his bedchamber. Death. Death to the death to the unholy one. Death to the heretic. Death to the witch. Kill. She's... Why? I never wanted her to die. Was she not eating? Seal off the tower. Understood? No one finds out about this. How can you be so calm? Don't you understand what you've done? Ha! Pinning the blame on me. How nice it must be to be how must how nice it must be to be able to distort reality with panic. You're just as guilty as any of us. Uh, I never wanted her to die. The witch killed her. The blood of the witch killed my sister? Mother? Father? Oh, a dream. What was that dream? It was horribly unsettling. I was holding someone, a girl I cared for dearly, in my arms, and she was limp. It was almost as if she was dead. I've been having a lot of unpleasant dreams lately. I can't stop shaking. Why would I have such a dream? I feel sick. Back to sleep. But I wonder, who was that girl? I can sense someone standing beyond my door. Is someone there? It's like they're watching me. Is it just my imagination? I can't move. What? What do you want? Go away. The sound. It's growing fainter. Maybe the red-haired girl is a vampire. Or the white-haired girl is a vampire. Is that truly what your story meant, Father? But such a magnificent garden. Something we could never have had. My intentions misguided. What a beautiful white rose. You know, you could. That was the maid that narrates. You know, you could have sneaked into his room rather easily then. No one was watching. How long have you... Oh, you needn't pay me any mind. I shall not condemn you, no matter what you might do. Rather, I'm on your side. I was not going to do anything. Oh, is that so? Then perhaps you were out for a late night stroll. I imagine you have less difficulties going outside at night. Beg your pardon. I will return to the mansion immediately. Oh yes, that reminds me. It was also the middle of the night when the grocer's servant broke into their safe. News of that spread quite far. I'm sure you would have heard about it. Oh, although was Jamask imprisoned? Dear me, I'm having trouble remembering. But worry not. If you wish for it, the mansion shall provide. We're in no danger whatsoever of getting caught. You said that a witch lives in the mansion, did you not? I did. Does that sound perhaps a bit archaic to you? No. I believe these rumors mockingly refer to me. Oh my. I have been accused of being a witch before, which is amusing. I don't have any magical powers. I simply have an unusual appearance. My, what a lovely shade of red. The rose. Is something the matter? This rose was white, until I took it in my hand. Is that so? I apologize, I must sound mad. I'm sure I was just mistaken. It couldn't possibly have changed. I wonder. Yes? The girl locked in the mansion become a princess? What? We should lock up and head to bed. Make sure all of the shutters are closed nice and tight, and then draw the bar on the front door. Is she the witch? Who's the witch? I think it might be the maid. I don't think the girl with white hair would be the witch. Slowly but surely, time trekked onward, everyone working toward their own individual goals. Each early summer breeze that blew through the garden was like God's hallowed breath, carrying the flower's fragrance in through Rose Manor's windows. If only time could be stopped, and this beautiful era made to live on through eternity. As usual, Mel's eyes chased after the white-haired girl, and Nellie pursed her lips in frustration at him. But she was still rather docile. Even taking into account how self-centered she behaved, how fickle her temper, Nellie's fits were still no worse than a playful kitten. See, at that very moment, our lively little feline had her claws poised to swat at the flaxen-haired young man. Mel, you promised me, or have you forgotten? I haven't forgotten. I'm just asking if we can go another day. Another day? This isn't something that happens every day. I've been looking forward to tonight's performance for so long. There's nothing I can do about that. We're having a gathering at the priest's home tonight. Several high-ranking officials have come up from the mainland just for this. Who cares? I care. You know, Nellie, it doesn't have to be me who goes with you. No, I want to go with you, Mel. You've been so distant lately, dearest Mel. You refuse to do anything with me. That's not true. Tell me, if you can't go today, when can you? When will you be willing to go out with me? When will you be willing to play cards with me, to have tea together? I can't make any promises. I have things to do, obligations. And Nellie, you're almost an adult yourself. Stop acting like such a child. I am not an adult yet. I'm still a kid. If it means I don't get to play with you anymore, dearest Mel, then I don't want to become an adult. Nellie, you can't. Lady Nellie, the master wishes to speak with you. Huh? Father does. What could he want? Go on, Nellie. You can't make Father wait. He's very particular about people keeping their appointments. Yes, he is. Unlike you, dearest Mel. It's gotten her in such a foul mood. Oh, thank goodness for small miracles. Nellie just won't seem to take me at my word lately. You mustn't be so harsh on her. She is your one and only darling little sister. You're right, but still, she's taken it a bit too far as of late. Oh, I'm not so sure. She does not seem to she does not seem to be behaving any differently to me. Am I the one acting differently then? Well, enough about that. Can I ask you a favor? Me? What can I do for you? I was thinking. Physically, Mel was undeniably a young man, but that smirk that crossed his lips as he schemed gave his face the sweet look of a little boy. Perhaps that was simply part of his charm, and it was not the age disparity, but his character that made his smile so heartwarming. What did he ask of me? You should find out soon enough. It's cloudy. Thank goodness for that too. Though it would be even better if it were even darker out. I believe that textile shop was somewhere around here. Hi there. Lord Mel, fancy meeting you here. Yeah, what a surprise. So, what do you say we take this chance and go for a little walk? Since you're so sensitive to sunlight, we can keep our eyes out for shadow areas as we go. And if you feel unwell, just let me know. I was sent out to run an errand. Don't worry about that. Come on, follow me. I'm sorry. It, actually wasn't an accident that we crossed paths. Sorry. I planned this out ahead of time. Asked to have you sent out on a fake errand. It feels like I'm always on alert back at the mansion. Can't relax in my own house. It's actually kind of funny. Sorry, that was inappropriate of me. I just thought, since the sun's mostly blocked out, it would be alright if... I'm feeling just fine. Ah. Of course, I get her out of the house, and I can't even think of anything to say. Hey, yes? Have you settled into life at the mansion? I have. Everyone's been such a big help. That's good to hear. Indeed. Yes? Nellie told me that she had you help redecorate her room some time back. Ah, yes. That was shortly after I arrived. What of it? Yeah, that day, Nellie told me that you don't, I don't. Never mind, sorry. It's not important. It is important. But I can't just ask her how she feels about me. That would make it sound like I do, don't I? Lord Mel? Oh, sorry, I had something on my mind. It looks like it might rain again today. The weather usually gets better as summer approaches, not worse like it has been. It won't be a heavy storm, though. No? The wind is too gentle. You can tell from that? Vaguely, but yes. Huh. That's impressive. I have to leave the house unprepared, only to find myself sloshing back in the rain. You laugh a lot more than you used to. Do I? Yeah, and I like that. You look better with a smile on your face. A smile suits Lady Nellie much more than I. What? Her smile and your smile are completely different. Also, a smile suits you as well, Lord Mel. Do you really think so? What am I supposed to do? The face of a smile like that. So, yes? Knowing her, but ask, I'm posing, so she'll say no without hesitation. Trying to cover myself isn't going to get me anywhere. Hold on a second. I never did get you those flowers like I promised. There was a single white rose blooming in the garden. I was planning to give it to you, but it disappeared before I had the chance. So, I'd like you to have this. It's not a real rose, but it won't wilt either. Mel was holding an ornamental white rose. It was an impressively detailed replica of the real thing, crafted by an incredibly skilled artisan's hand. Ooh. Bless me, sorry. It was, I imagine, made by the same craftsman from whom Mel had ordered Nellie's birthday necklace. The young man who but a handful of days earlier had said he had no sweetheart, had come in to commission a present for a girl. The master of the shop must have been quite surprised. Or perhaps it had given him a good laugh instead. It was for this moment that he so desperately sought for the time together with the white-haired girl. I don't know what you like, so I had to base it off my sister's taste. My apologies. I cannot accept this. Is the design not to your liking? No, I just... If you're concerned about how much I paid for it, don't be. I just want you to have it, that's all. Please. Why are you so kind to me? Why? Because... I'm sorry, I can't accept it. A clear glint of flustered panic was visible in her red eyes. There's not a girl in the world whose heart would not flutter at the sight of the sparkling rose accessory. But her reaction was far from delight. As a matter of fact, there were traces of fear and apprehension in her countenance. I beg your pardon. Hold on. With a look of distress on her face, the white-haired girl made to run off, but Mel grabbed her by the arm in the nick of time. At least, tell me why. Is it because you dislike me? I never said. Something's wrong with me. From the day you arrived at the mansion, it's like I haven't been myself. I've been strangely aflutter ever since then. Whether I try to study or whether I try to read, none of it sticks. I'm just looking at pages of text, chasing rows of letters, only for them to disappear as soon as I look away. It's all because of you. I truly am sorry. Please, don't be any more generous than you already have. When I'm with you, my willpower wavers. What do you mean by that? I'm so sorry. Wait! Mel's grip loosened for a moment, allowing her to slip free and dart off like a gust of wind, not giving him the chance to stop her a second time. The dumbfounded flaxen-haired boy stood frozen in place, left all by himself. The breeze, which the white-haired girl had called gentle earlier, felt faintly chilly, almost as if it was mocking him. It looks like she's even less fond of me than I thought. God, I'm crying. I'm pathetic. Well, if it isn't Mel, what might you be? Are you crying? I'm so pitiful. Sorry you had to see this. Think nothing of it. Passed by a girl just a few moments ago. She appeared to be rather distressed as well. Did something happen between the two of you? I wasn't good enough, it seems. Not good enough. That was the new maid I was telling you about before. I was, like you said, Father, I was keen on her. Quite. Enough to bring me to tears like a miserable child. But she rejected me. I don't even have what it takes to be a stand-in, Prince. Mel, I apologize for complaining to you about this. I'm completely hopeless. Mel, please don't try to cheer me up. I don't need any sympathy. No, Mel, listen to me. What? I've seen that girl before. What do you mean? But, you said she was a servant at your house, right? In which case... Yes, she is. Please tell me, Father. Where did you see her? Why must you be so evasive? It was... probably someone else. Someone else? You're saying you mistook someone who stands out as much as her? Father. She and a man, who I assume is her father, paid a visit to the church once. They came asking for food, their clothes in tatters. The two were emaciated. I don't think they were eating daily. What? Wait a minute, are you saying she's a beggar? But Father said she came from an esteemed house, which is why I said I might be mistaken, Mel. She has a singular aspect, but it is possible there is another girl who looks similar. Deep down, though, the priest surely believed the opposite. And so he said sternly, like a teacher to a pupil, "But you must be absolutely certain. Understood, Mel? You cannot proceed any further without knowing her ancestry." May I visit the church, Father? By all means. The back of Mel's mind, a vision of the night of the storm. The night the white-haired girl had arrived at the mansion was surely replaying. She had been wearing little more than rags and covered in grime, hardly the appearance of a young, respectable lady of class. I've been putting her through unnecessary stress. She actually turns out to be nameless, to be rankless. No matter where she comes from, my heart is decided. I will not fool myself about how I feel any longer. No, I cannot fool myself. But how does she feel? What will everyone think? I have to find out why she was welcomed into our house. I'll ask Mother, her father. No. If, for some reason, they don't know she isn't aristocratic, I'm better off not saying anything. But if they don't, then does that mean she's been lying to us? And to them? I have to find out. This time, I must get answers. No, absolutely not. You come back and the first thing you say is that? I hate you, Father. I will not stand for this. Why? Why would he suddenly just throw that on me? He didn't even ask for my opinion. No, I won't do it. I'm fine the way things are. I'm just fine. Dearest Mel, I need your help. I don't. Ooh. I don't want to get married. That is a bombshell. I can't say I didn't see it coming, but like... It's how anything can play out after that. There's a lot of tension going on now. So, the girl might be a beggar. Mel loves her regardless, or thinks he's in love with her. Nellie is getting forced to get married. Wow. This may seem sudden, but I must confess that I made a grave mistake. My transgression is that I was unable to completely predict where this path we were traveling led. My hands were full, dealing with my immediate day-to-day tasks, so that I could do not but pray there was happiness waiting in the future. Happiness for everyone who lived within Rose Manor. But I am but a mere maid. There are limits to what I'm allowed to do. And furthermore, it was not my place to offer her my hand. Roads, such as the one we were following, way of diverging with little warning. And if you do not turn the wheel exactly right at those sudden forks, you may end up somewhere horribly off course. I was well aware of that fact, which is why I thought that what I did was for the best. It's happening again. I made sure the door was closed, but I can sense someone standing there. Someone watching me. Footsteps. Looking down at me. I want to open my eyes, but I can't do it. Curses. She's going to leave without doing anything, aren't you? Then hurry up and get out of here. Free me from this torture. No, tonight, they're on my bed now, looking down at me. My neck. Ooh. I can't speak. I can't move. These cold fingers. That soft breath. Why? I can move my body, but that's not important right now. You smell of roses. The scent of a world far removed from ours. He made to gasp at the sight before him, only to realize he could not. The pressure of her cold fingertips wrapped around his throat robbed him almost entirely of the ability to breathe. Why? He silently mouthed the word. For that moment, at least, her melancholic ruby eyes were focused wholly on the flaxen-haired young man, and in them glowed a faint flicker of willpower and a continuously burning agitation that roused her to action. I told you to stop being so kind to me. Why? It will all be over soon. Please don't make any noise. Why? To put an end to this family. You are my only. Why? Are you shaking? What? Upon hearing Mel's words, the strength drained from her slender fingers. He had not been questioning why she would do such a thing. There was, of course, a trace of bewilderment visible in his eyes. But he did not shout, nor did he tremble in fear. He instead expressed concern for the young woman who looked like a cornered rabbit. I am not shaking. You are. I can see it. As he slowly regained his breath, Mel's voice, too, grew clearer. Conversely, the red-eyed girl's grew progressively more faint and raspy. You're not doing this because you genuinely want to. There is some other reason. This is what I desire. Have you been to my room before? You have. I'm sorry. Well, I'll be damned. Tell me, why are you shaking? You're not putting any pressure on my neck. Why haven't you run? Oh, why haven't you run? Because I cannot fathom why you would do this, so I'm not afraid. Do you hate me so deeply you want me dead? Do you despise me to the point you would be willing to take my life with your own hands? No, I don't. See? Like I said, there's another reason. If it isn't because you detest me, then tell me, why is it? I'm sorry. I will leave your room now. I will do my best not to bother you any further, so please forget anything happened. Do you think I'm just going to say okay and let you go? Why can't you tell me the reason? I'm sorry. Alright, then I'll try to guess. What? It has something to do with your lineage. You're troubled by it somehow, am I right? Okay, so my computer cut out, so there's gonna be a little jump cut. computer turned off because I accidentally hit the power cord. So I'm just trying to get back to the part that we were just at, which should be right here. Yeah. That's all I know. The only difference between us is social rank. I don't know what would cause you to do this. Please tell me who you really are. Tell me why you came into the mansion, and why Father allowed you to be a maid. I haven't said anything to Mother or Father. If you're hiding the truth from them, they still don't know. But I want to. I won't get mad at you, or have you punished. I'll even swear to God if you'd like. I want to be the prince who whisked you away. I want to be like the prince who rescued the girl from the dark mansion and showed her the world. I know I'm not that dependable, but I want to help you. Why do you show me such compassion? Why do you treat me like this? I have my hand around your neck. Why? I thought it would be obvious. Or have I not expressed myself well enough? I love you. Every time you push me away, it crushes me. I didn't even know my heart could feel such distress. And if you dislike me and don't want to be with me, then, well, I'll just have to live with that. As much as it may hurt. But if you have some other reason, some weight on your shoulders, that you can't share with anyone else, tell me. I want to help you. There are other options. Things we can do about your... No, that's not it. Huh? I've tried to hate you so many times. So yes, there's more to it than just social status. But I can't do it. I couldn't make myself do it. What do you mean? I had so many chances, but I couldn't do anything. She spoke in a stifled voice, as if every word had to fight to escape her lips. She appeared so fragile, so precarious, looking down on him, that it seemed as though, if a gust of wind were to whisk through the room, it would blow her away completely. Her pale fingers were trembling, like she had tried to squeeze them again and failed. However, her hand did not pull away from his still slender neck. Her hand is so cold. He did not challenge her, but simply kept his eyes fixed on hers, and carefully watching her to see what she would do next. I'll say it as many times as I must. I love you. And I wouldn't be able to accept losing you without knowing anything. So please, tell me the reason. I'll see to it that you're taken care of. Those are the words of a man of means, Lord Mel. Of someone blessed enough to have pity for others. You are a foolish young man. You know nothing. But the greatest fool of all is myself. If you agree to punish me, I will talk. Tell me. Her long white hair and his soft flaxen hair touched. For just the briefest of moments, it appeared in the darkness, as though they had fused together. The white-haired girl, having finally gathered the courage, began to slowly tell her tale. On the night of the storm, I paid a visit to Rose Manor, this mansion. My father and I were always on the move, traveling across the land by foot, so it was only recently that we had heard rumors of Rose Manor. There were several reasons we couldn't stay in one place. First is my unusual appearance. People often find the color of my skin or eyes discerning. So after living in one place for long enough, unsettling rumors would begin to spread, forcing us to leave. Another reason was my father's line of work. He painted pictures for a living, but he had trouble finding a patron so he had to work day to day. When he was no longer to find work in a city, we would move. We were birds that migrated without a flock. When we arrived at this town, my father was exhausted and weak. That is when we learned of Rose Manor, and the family who dwelled within it. Rhodes is a fit name my father could never forget. He was, long ago, a painter in service of the Rhodes family. Hold on. Your father was an artist here? Yes. It was before I was born, so you probably don't remember, Lord Mel. So, you knew about us before you came here. As long as I can remember, I've known the name Rhodes. My father was chased from your house, just because they didn't like something he painted. Having failed the Rhodes family, no one else would become his patron. Just as a good reputation spreads, so does a bad one. Branded once as a failure, no one will ever take you again. You nobles throw your parties and spread gossip about this painter or that sculptor. The rose you tried to give to me is an example of that. It was certainly crafted with skill, but the jeweler is only known because some aristocrats spoke highly of him. My father's paintings were no less skillful. His was a talent that could not easily be imitated. But no one was willing to separate the art from the artist. The Rose family stole everything from my father. But even thrown out onto the streets, his only skill was painting. That was all he could do to earn a living. What little money we had for food, he gave to me. He did anything he could to ensure my survival, even at the expense of his own well-being. My father passed away in this town. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his fingers through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. If I had a normal appearance, I'm sure life would have been much easier. But he was always telling me how sorry he was for making life so hard, even though it was not his fault I looked like this. I disdained the Rhodes family for putting my father through such hardship. I imagine you were still living in decadence, acting as though nothing had ever happened. No, you wouldn't even care about the fate of one simple painter. Our lives meant nothing to you, and so I sought to bring misfortune upon you. And that's why you tried to kill me. In truth, I had wanted to take the master's life, but your father spent so much time outside the mansion. And so, you're right. If they lost me, it would put my family in a very difficult position. That's the whole of my tale. You now know about my father and how I feel about you. Having told you the blackness in my heart, I cannot go on living like nothing has changed. Please give me punishment. Why? Why would you have me put the one I love through any more misery? I am not fit for your affection. Not only because I'm not aristocratic, but because every time I spoke with you, I did so holding this darkness in my heart. Does that not unnerve you? In the end, it was my family's actions that caused you so much suffering. Would that your father were still alive, perhaps I could have done something. I'm sorry. Besides, you hesitated. You didn't actually kill me. What am I even supposed to punish you for? As you said, you had countless opportunities, but you couldn't bring yourself to do it. Tell me, why couldn't you kill me? Because If it's because I've given you enough reason to have even the slightest bit of interest in me. Nothing was as I envisioned it. What? I assumed the residents of Rhodes Manor would be cold, people who believed that wealth and rank mattered above all. But on the night of the storm, the mistress was the first one to extend her hand to me. I arrived at the mansion disguised as a beggar. Actually, disguised is not the right word. As many nights, I only had survived on the generosity of others. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite. She took me in as a servant. So that was Mother's doing. I could scarcely believe that she would invite a stranger into her home, that she would treat a stranger with such compassion. I thought perhaps she knew who my father was, but I had never met any of you before, so she must simply be that kind-hearted of a woman. And the mistress continued to treat me with kindness, despite my disquieting appearance and the darkness in my heart. In time, I began to grow less and less sure of myself. What was I meant to do truly right? Was what I meant to do truly right? Were the things I felt truly justified? But it was a certain fact that my father was here. And that he had been chased out. So I decided I should take your life, to put an end to everything before I wavered any further. And then... You were too kind to me. It's all your fault. Because you laugh with such affection. Because you give me smiles like that. Because you say the things you say. I'm sorry. No, don't apologize. So happy to hear that, despite, the unusual circumstances. Please don't say you want to leave. Please don't ask me to punish you. I couldn't do anything for your father, but at least allow me to do something for the daughter he cared for so dearly. You are far too kind-hearted. I'll be happier with you around. You can become a real aristocrat. Huh? There are families that would be willing to adopt you, especially knowing it would bring them ties to the Rhodes family in the near future. Are you saying, as long as you're okay with that, of course. I don't understand how you could possibly say that. I have my hand around your neck even as we speak. It seems reasonable enough to me. I'm desperately looking for some way to not have to lose you. But I couldn't. I don't know any etiquette or social customs. How could I? You can learn all of that. You're pretty and naturally graceful. You'll do just fine. You are such an aristocrat, Lord Mel. What? The way you can come up with such compliments so easily. Oh, only for you. Nellie says my poetry has as much charm as a dissertation. I don't understand theater. It puts me to sleep. You laughed. Thank goodness. Keep smiling. You don't have to stop. A smile on your face is a smile on mine. No matter how deep the darkness has taken root in your heart, it can always be removed. I believe people are capable of forging their own features. What do you say we go to the theater sometime? I promise I won't sleep through it. At the private theater, we can get seats at the far end of the second floor, so we don't have to stand. They would be pretty lavish seats. It would give you a chance to experience the noble life. But please don't be shy. I can have clothes prepared for you. I'll ask one of the maids who can keep a secret. Say, the one with the black hair. She kind of scares me though. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How could you show such compassion for me? I tried to inflict harm upon you. Am I allowed to feel such joy? For every day you suffered, a day of happiness. That's how it has to be. So stand by me. He softly whispered the girl's name. For several long moments, her lips trembled in trepidation, but in time, she squeezed them together and made a smile. He wrapped her arms around her unbelievably slender, frail frame, holding her tight in an affectionate embrace. Mel approached me the next day. He explained to me the course of events and then asked me to dress her up more beautifully than any other noble girl he had ever been. She was already a very pretty girl, so even without much effort on my part, she simply putting her in a dress, she radiated beauty. I was quite partial to her smile, so I agreed to help, thinking that if it would lead to their happiness, I could not ask for anything more. I never anticipated what would happen next, though. Perhaps my hopes were unreasonable after all. Someone's gonna go crazy. I think it might be Nelly. Let's save just in case my computer goes out again. Slow killing poison. Now, Nelly. You love the leader, so don't look so cross. Nelly was out with a man other than her brother that evening. A rare sight indeed. And she was quite clearly in a foul mood. I will not stand for this. That I should have to marry a man as disagreeable as Arthur. It's unthinkable. The young man was at her side was Nelly's fiancé, selected by her parents. On any other occasion, she would have snubbed an invite from any man who was not Mel, but she had little say in this matter. For what she was, for lack of a better word, forced to go out with him. Oh, how furiously she fought against it. She had shoved aside the Abigail trying to fasten her corset, locked herself in her room, and sobbed for quite some time. It required the combined efforts of several of us to get her ready and out the door for her date. Come now, you should at least pretend you're enjoying yourself. Or do you want people to think we don't get along? Do we get along? Well, I want to, for what it's worth. What it's worth? What it's worth to you is my name, not me. Are you really going to be like that? I went out of my way to take you to your favorite play. The least you could do is be a little kinder to me. What was it called again? Romeo and Juliet? It's been running for 6 or 7 years now. A family like yours or mine could pay to have a brand new script written. So why should we have to see an old play at a theater full of commoners? It may be private, but even so. I would rather just have a show put on at my estate. Stop talking already. Why should I have to marry someone like you? I have absolutely no desire to marry you. Whatever it takes, I will put a stop to this. I'll talk to my father as many times as I must. Please don't make such a scene. It's shameful. There are people around, remember? You represent your family. Besides, our families are hardly strangers to one another. Try as you might, I doubt you can get rid of me. No matter what you say, you can't break this engagement. You don't. Your parents gave you too much freedom, and look what a spoiled little girl you became because of it. Goodness, you're going to be quite the handful. Oh, get off your high horse. No, you're the one on a high horse, Nelly. You are going to be my wife. You can at least put some effort into liking me. What happens when I take you to a social engagement and you act like this? It's shameful to the both of us. This coming from someone who used to call me Lady Nelly? What's your problem? When you choose to act like a lady, I'll gladly call you that again. Goodness gracious. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I have to marry a bratty little girl because it will help my family. How dare you talk about me that way? You're not a damned princess. Open your eyes. If you think talking to your father will get you out of this marriage, you're welcome to try. I doubt he'll have it, though. Otherwise, you can just go complain about it to your friends. Oh, that's right. As far as I'm aware, you don't have any friends. Enough. As you wish. This is so frustrating. Why should I have to listen to this jerk mock me? I have Mel. I know if father won't listen to me, I'll ask Mel to talk to him. Mel will be able to convince him. Come on now, your favorite play's about to start. Maybe you should face forward. Enjoy it while it lasts. You won't be talking down to me much longer. What? Is that... Wait, Nelly. Get back here. What is that damn child's problem? I didn't give her permission to leave. Father would be sure to hear about this. I cannot have the Rhodes family making any more of a fool of me. You're fine. Don't be shy. But so many people are looking at me. That's because you're gorgeous. No, it's because I look strange. I assure you that's not the case. It is true you have an unusual appearance, but right now, the unique color of your hair your skin, and your eyes all serve to accentuate your beauty. You sound like a prince, Lord Mel. Well, you think so? I mean, I did say I'd be a stand-in prince for you, but I think you're a wonderful prince, not just a stand-in. Which makes you my princess, then. I don't... Oh, you're supposed to say, yes, I am. There. You're going to make me sad. I guess I'll just have to keep working at it until you submit. Oh hey, the play's about to start. What am I supposed to be doing? Nothing in particular. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Oh, but there is one thing. Yes? If I start dozing off, could you maybe wake me up? Nah. What? Dear Smell. Nelly? Dear Smell, why are you... What are you doing here? I asked her to join me. It's nothing to get worked up over. But it is. It absolutely is. How many times did I ask you to come with me, and you wouldn't? You don't even like theater, dear Smell, and you brought her? You're right. I'm not especially fond of plays, but I wanted her to be able to see one. Why are you making such a big deal out of this, Nelly? She's not suitable for you. What? She isn't good enough for you. Why would you choose her? She's creepy and you have no idea where she came from. Don't talk about her like that, Nelly. But you don't even know who her family is. I do. Lord Mel, it's fine. You just stay quiet. Like the other maids, she comes from a respectable house. I looked into it. However, circumstances prevent me from telling you what the house that is. No, you're lying. That can't be. She doesn't act like a lady. She lacks etiquette, and probably can't even dance. You expect me to believe someone like her is from a good house? Enough already, Nelly. No, you yelled at me. You have my word. You don't have to worry about her. So please, stay out of this, Nelly. It isn't any of your business if I spend time with her, is it? But dear Smell, you need to stop hanging all over me, Nelly, and find someone for... Wait, what are you doing at the theater? Are you here alone? Oh yes, dear Smell, about that. I have a favor to ask of you. I've been waiting to talk to you about this since yesterday, but I haven't seen you at all. Settle down, Nelly. What is it? Father had me engaged without consulting me, and he picked Arthur, that disagreeable little... Oh right, that. I already know. What? I heard it from Father. That reminds me, you didn't show up at breakfast this morning. I see now. It was because of your engagement. Dear Smell, is that who you're here with today? In that case, you should get back to him, rather than waste any more time with us. You knew I didn't want to get married, Mel. So why? Why didn't you talk Father out of it? Because it's your time, Nelly. If there's someone else you'd rather be with, then, well, you can try persuading Father, but... You're the only prince for me, dear Smell. And a prince always grants his princess's wishes, doesn't he? I just want you to say you'll do that for me, dear Smell. Lady Nelly, you stay out of this. It's all your fault. It's all because you showed up and played your little tricks on him. I warned you about this rat, dear Smell. She is not suitable for. I told you I've had enough already. Oh. How much longer are you going to continue acting like a child? I can deal with you being a spoiled little girl, but how dare you be so derisive? How dare you be so derisive to someone else? Now hit me. Lord Mao. Go on. The show's about to start. People are giving us dirty looks. Return your Return to your betrothed now. I will apologize to him afterward as well. You said you would always be by my side. That you would always be my prince. The time for make-believe is past, Nellie. No. I refuse to believe it. I will not have it. Nellie! My goodness, that girl. Are you not going to go after her, Lord Mel? No. Just let her go. The only place she even has to go is home. I just wish she'd start acting a little more like an adult. I imagine Lord Nellie simply... She what? No. It just wasn't my intention to get in between you. Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault we had an argument. But you two were so close. Well, yeah, we're siblings. We're close, but nothing more. I do care about Nellie, and I enjoy spending time with her. But she's my sister, nothing more. Anyway, sorry for making such a scene. No, I imagine she left her betrothed behind without saying anything, so I'm going to go apologize to him. We have to keep up appearances. Stay here. I'll be right back. Very well. Master, what are your thoughts on the tale so far? Which of the siblings do you think was in the right, Master? The brother or the sister? Oh my. I apologize for the abrupt question. Did I startle you? What do I think? Yes. I believe Mel was probably right. He was also surely happier than her. As Mel had anticipated, Nellie fled the theater, leaving her fiancé behind. She forced her way into a carriage stopped outside, probably one called for a different nobleman, and ordered it to take her home. Mel's assumption was correct. The only place she had to return to was the mansion. The sun was beginning to set. As a young lady, she could not simply go wandering through town alone, nor did she have any acquaintances to take her in. Her world was, in essence, composed of two elements, her brother and the rose garden. They were the light of her life at the Rose Manor. She lived a very isolated existence. When she escaped back home, Nellie went straight to her room, locked the door, and began sobbing. The waves of her sorrow came crashing effortlessly over the leaves. Tears streamed through the cracked walls of the dam, blocking her tear ducts. Why? Why won't you help me, Mel? Why won't you take my side? The decor in her room appeared blurry through her damp eyes. Memories of the day she had redecorated it played back in her mind with crystal clarity. She told me she had no feelings for you. That liar. She let her emotions run wild, breaking glass craftworks, silver plates, designed by famous foreign artisans, flower vases, all sorts of things. It was as though a beast had been set loose in her bedchamber. The vase she tossed shattered against the painting hanging on the wall, spraying water, porcelain, and roses in every direction. It was the portrait she adored so dearly, of her and her brother. And what appeared to her like a metaphor for life, the frame fell off its mounting and came crashing onto the floor. Nellie darted over and scooped it up. The frame had broken, but the painting inside was unharmed. The two smiling children were still the very images of happiness, inseparable siblings gently holding one another's hand. My prince is no more. Though in her present state of mind, that image of happiness brought her nothing but misery. What's worse, and the worse she felt, the more frustrated she grew at the smiling girl and kind boy of her past. The princess is no more either. You're not a princess anymore, Nellie. Some other woman has taken your place. I trusted you, Mel. Yep. I believed you would always be there for me. That this painting is nothing but a lie. That's not the real Mel. That's not the real me. It's all a big fat lie. A lie. I wish this painting never existed. That it was never made. That I never had a brother. This painting. In a fit of emotional distress, she scratched feverishly at the painting she once considered precious. She put more force in her fingers than she, or perhaps anyone, might have imagined she could. Flakes of paint began falling off the canvas, and in time, she noticed something peculiar. Huh? What is this writing? Something hidden beneath the paint. Just a little more. A date. Why would that be hidden? What could it be for? Completed May 1584. 1587. Oh, 1587. I thought that was a 4. Oops. After staring blankly at the text for some time, the color in her face began to drain. What is this? How could this have been painted 16 years ago? I wasn't even born then. Mel would have been just a baby. Is this not me? Is this not Mel? There's still more writing. So, I wanted to say this while we had a break, but I don't think we're going to get a break before this reveal. I'm going to say that it's either I'm assuming it's a time loop because the master keeps coming back. I think that the main character is Mel, and every time he wakes up, he's in a different roadway that turns, like the different path that could have been taken. So I'm just curious to see if I'm right, and if so, what path are we on in this one? I am quite excited. This has been an episode. Urged on by her rapid pounding heart, Nellie furiously scratched away at the painting. Even as her clean, pink fingernails were soiled in the fragments of paint and blood, she did not stop. She was so overwhelmed by trepidation that she could not stop. She had a horrible premonition that something was about to happen, something indescribable, incomprehensible. This is how I envisioned your son and our unborn daughter might look several years from now. Your son and our unborn daughter. So this was a painting of the future. Then it really is of me and Mel. No, use your head, stupid. I'm only 14. 16 years ago, I would not have even been inside Mother. But then who is this? Who is that holding Mel's hand? Who is that with my brother? More. There has to be. How? Found it. There's more writing. I have to know what this is. Calm down, Nellie. It's nothing to get worked up over. I'm sure it's nothing. Calm down and read. There's nothing to worry about. If our unborn child... This is what the writing on the painting said. If our unborn child does not have your hair color, then you will probably not be able to take her in as your own. I will be punished and my life made miserable. And so I pray that this child might have flaxen hair. Though it is a sin to wish she has in her a trace of me, I do hope it is a girl. So, could it maybe have been like adultery with the father and their mother? No, that wouldn't make sense, no? Because can you get pregnant? Would she be able to get pregnant that fast again? Depending on how far she was in, right? I think. Oh, what am I reading? I don't get it. Someone tell me. What does this mean? A painting from 16 years ago. Hair color, sin. I do hope it is a girl. That painting really was a Chekhov's gun. The pacing is so nice after you get through like maybe the first like hour or so. Yes, it's me, Nellie. Let me in. Lady Nellie? Oh, you changed out of your dress. That's a shame. It looked nice on you. Really did look so nice. Almost like you were a princess. Lady Nellie? Say, I've got a question for you. Do you mind? By all means. What color hair did your father have? I beg your pardon? Did you not hear me? Should I repeat the question? No. I assumed it would be about Lord Mel. I'm just so curious about where you got that white color from. My father was more tan than white, so I didn't inherit my paleness from anyone. I asked about your father's hair color. Why would you want to? There's no reason you can't tell me, is there? My father, had white hair. That was simply because he was an older man. I do not think he was born with... Lady Nellie? Hey, guess what I figured out? I figured it all out. It was so simple. There's only one difference between you and me. The thing that Mel fell for is... Why do you have those? No, stay back. Maybe the witch gives, like, future sight. Because I'm thinking... The father wouldn't say anything about the white hair, right? Or... whatever. Just out of nowhere, right? Who knows? We finally reached this point in the tale, Master. If your memory has been refreshed, then we can return to the mansion immediately. Very well, then. If you insist, Master, we shall proceed with the story. It was a stormy night, much like the one the white-haired girl had first arrived on. It was quiet as a crypt in a mansion, not a single light visible in the halls. The house sat in wait for the sun to peek out over the horizon. The darkness is generally sleep-speaking, something that rushes by like a gust of wind as we sleep. The flaxen-haired young man, too, lay in bed, pale blue moonlight sporadically streaming through the gaps in his drawn veil curtains as he attempted to submit to slumber. He was having difficulty drifting off, but as time trickled onward, he drew closer and closer to the arms of Morpheus. Suddenly, he sensed a presence in his room, much like the one from those nights some weeks earlier. There's someone there. Answer me. A slender, feminine finger pressed gently against his lips. There's no hostility in the motion, but rather a great deal of affection. A silhouette faintly visible in the dark room was the same as that night. A flash of lightning shone through the drawn curtains, illuminating her beautiful white hair. Several silky locks spilled over her shoulders and brushed against Mel's cheeks. A couple soft puffs of air tickled his face as though she were silently laughing. He assumed her finger, held against her lips, was her way of telling him to stay quiet. She began to slowly, delicately, trace the outline of his mouth, moving down his cheek and across his jawline as if it over porcelain. You're rather more forward than I remember. Well, I suppose you were You always were quite daring. This isn't the first time you sneaked into my bedchamber. The boy said in an attempt to conceal his surprise. Do you remember the night she came to exact revenge on him for her father? Indeed, she had proven herself to be a rather bold girl once already. It's dark. I can't see you very well. Would I light a lamp? Perhaps we could open the... So, there's like there's a lot of possibilities here. She could be getting blackmailed, or she could be in the mindset of her not thinking that she deserves anything because of the darkness in her heart. So Nellie could have put her up to something and she's gonna get her parents. Nellie could be... This is like very, very gory, but she could be wearing the hair or something. Wearing a part of the white-haired girl. It could be sometime before, sometime after. Or it could be the witch we hear about, that we've been hearing about. It could be like some shape-shifting stuff or something. Who knows? Before he could finish, the white-haired girl sealed his lips with her own. In the near total darkness of his bedchamber, the two shadows appeared as one. They remained that way for several minutes. Their kiss was innocent, no more than the pressing together of two pairs of lips. At the same time, the white-haired girl lovingly ran her fingertips across his skin. When their lips separated, Mel gasped for air. It seemed he had been holding his breath. Slightly embarrassed at himself, he said, "Dearest Mel." Oh, but you can only make so many shots before you hit one at least, right? Nothing. He could not speak. The silhouette hanging above him was certainly the white-haired girl's. Or was it? Because his next words were, "Get off me." He reflexively shoved the girl straddling up aside. She rolled off the bed, landing on the cold floor, but slowly, gradually, she crawled her way back towards him. That wasn't very nice. Veiled in darkness, she slowly lifted her head, and then there's another flash of lightning. The heavy fabric of the curtains rustled, bolts of lightning streaming between the gaps. Her flaxen irises glimmered, though, in the bluish-white light, they took on a twinge of almost golden glow. No need to be so rough. This isn't the first time she's visited your brain chamber, is it, Mel? Did I not kiss you the same way? Tell me, how does she run her fingers across your skin? What does she do when she nuzzles up to you? Stop this madness, Nellie. Why would you do this? Because you like white hair, don't you, Mel? Because you like white hair, which is why you fell for her, isn't it? So if I have white hair, then you'll fall for me too. Then I can be your princess again, dearest Mel. What are you even talking about? He could not escape her from his sister's piercing gaze. Why? What happened? How could she? Questions crashed into the young man's mind like waves in a stormy sea, but none of them found answers. They simply caused him further perplexity. Your hair. What happened to your hair? How did you get it that color? Oh, this? You like my wig? But as soon as the words left her mouth, Mel was in motion, propelled by pure instinct. He clenched Nellie's shoulders tight to dig his fingers into her flesh. You're hurting me, Mel. What did you do to her? Tell me, what did you do? I made her leave. It was a perfectly reasonable decision. She was obviously not nobility, and thus hardly fit to be a part of this household. There's no need to worry, Mel. I'm here to take her place. You sound like a madwoman. It doesn't matter if she was a noble blood or not. She promised me she would stay by my side. So why? How could you do that to her? I promised you that long before she ever did. And I love you far more than she did, Mel. Have you lost your mind? You're not making any sense. Where is she now? What is she doing? It's always her with you. What more could you want from me? Tell me, what does she have that I don't? What do I have to get you? What do I have to do to get you to focus on me and only me? We're siblings. Don't you understand what you're doing? Oh, I understand it quite well. Far better than you do, dearest Mel. I even know that a former queen was executed for it. But if we don't get caught, there's no problem. Nellie, you saying you've always felt this way about me? Oh my, didn't you notice, dearest Mel? You truly are a dense one. I guess romance just isn't your strong suit. But you've noticed now, haven't you? You know exactly how I feel about you, right? Quit it. Enough. Don't say anything else. Stop having these insane feelings for me. It's disgusting. What are you laughing about? Poor Mel. Content in your own ignorance. Content in your complete ignorance, sorry. Alright, I'll tell you everything. Mel, you can only love blood-related women. Huh? His cackling sister appeared to him like some kind of inhumane life form. Her actions and incomprehensible exclamations slowly drained him from his strength. Their siblings. Maybe so. Okay. So, brain cards are thinking. So maybe Mel is like the estranged, not estranged, but like the child of the painter and his mom. They probably, the adoption, I guess, came into play from what Mel said. Maybe Nellie is adopted, and the white-haired girl is his real sibling. They had 2 children, or 1 children maybe? Or 1 child, sorry. Or maybe Nellie is like a step parent, right? Something. Maybe the mother got introduced, or got promoted in social status after marrying him. Who knows? Hopefully I'm right. What kind of deranged nonsense is that? I love her. She's your sister, Mel. Very funny. How far out of your mind have you gone, Nellie? Poor Mel. Do you honestly know nothing? Say that her father was a painter. He painted pictures for a living. Oh, what of it? For a time, her father painted for a family. You've seen the picture before, dearest Mel. The one hanging in my room of the 2 of us. That was painted by her father. He did a good job, didn't he? I kept asking and asking until you finally agreed to hold my hand. And how did you feel about that? You were rather embarrassed, weren't you? Do you remember that day, dearest Mel? You couldn't possibly remember it. But there's a chance you might remember this. Before we moved into this mansion, we had a painter with white hair. I don't remember any such thing. It was long ago. A painter in service of the Rhodes family. That painter did something very, very bad. And because of that, he couldn't remain a part of our household. Do you know what he did, Mel? He lay with Mother. My father was chased from your house. If the child had been born with flaxen hair, then the painter would not have been thrown out. The baby would would have been accepted as part of the family. Part shook me up. But that wasn't how it turned out. The child had white hair. She didn't look at all like she carried the Rhodes family blood. But see, Mother had me. That I'm here is all the proof you need. The girl born 16 years ago didn't have flaxen hair. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his hands through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. You're talking total nonsense. What proof do you have? If you want to see, I'll gladly show you. The artist left a message in the painting in my room. Tell me, am I truly wrong? What did that girl tell you? You're lying. What part of it is a lie, Mel? Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Why don't you go ask Mother? I'm sure she would throw quite the fit. Mother wouldn't. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite. She took me in as a servant. It never made any sense to me. Why would she hire a maid she knew nothing about? Someone who just showed up at the door one day. And when I asked Mother to make her my maid, she stubbornly refused. From a good house? Don't make me laugh. If she were really nobility, she would have given us her name. But Mother was so desperate to cover up her mistake. That doesn't make any sense. I don't believe a word you're saying. It couldn't possibly be true. Wouldn't it be nice if you could bury your own head in the sand? But Mel, feigning ignorance is a sin. No. I refuse to believe it. Not a chance in hell. You just don't understand anything. How I feel, how much I've suffered. Do you have any idea how long I've loved you? Knowing that you would never accept my affection? But then, fancy that. You fell in love with your half-sister. And I should qualify for your love too. Shouldn't I, Mel? But laugh for me. Stop it. Enough. Shut your mouth. Not another word. I don't believe any of this. Mel. I know you'll never love me. I know there's nowhere for me to run. Say, when we were kids, was that really me? Was I really by your side, Mel? That painting tells the truth. I was never once did I get to be your princess. Not even once. Dearest Mel, everyone just loves to dote on me. They're always telling me how pretty I am. Mother does, Father does, and all the maids do too. I can do anything I want. So for me, acting like a spoiled child is the only form of rebellion I have. I don't have the kind of freedom you do, Mel. I'm just a doll for the family to play with. When I have visitors, it's only ever for show. So it's not my fault I don't have friends. Dearest Mel, you're the only one who's ever cared about me more than anything in the world. Dearest Mel, I always knew how I would react if you fell in love. I would cry my eyes out. I would envy her to death. I would get angry as a bull. But eventually, I would have given up. I knew I could never have it my way, after all. My feelings would never bear fruit. So why did she have to be your sister? Tell me, why? Oh, dearest Mel, here you are again reading such hard books. Your eyes will go bad if you spend too long staring at pages. I'll be fine, Nellie. It's not like I'm reading 24 hours a day. No, that's not good enough. If your eyes go bad, dearest Mel, you won't be able to see me anymore. You worry too much. I can see you fine and well, my princess. Your hair glimmering like the sun, and your beautiful smile. I can see you clear as day, And that'll never change. Plus, the skies are clear today, so you're even more radiant than usual. You know this is my favorite season. Winter's cold and there's so much rain, I can't stand it. But as soon as it gets closer to my birthday, the clouds go away, and I just adore the sun. Ah yes, it's almost your birthday, isn't it? Have you decided what you're going to ask Father for? Not yet. I want pretty dolls and shoes with sparkling gems. But I also want a pretty dress, like the ones Mother wears. A list that long is asking a bit much, even for Father. But dear Smell, I already know what I want the most. So the truth is, as long as I have that, I won't need anything else. Oh? And what would that be? The hairpin they bought for you the other day? Or maybe the song they had written for you last year? None of that, dear Smell. Huh? Then what could it be? Oh, I'm really curious. What is it that's so valuable to you? That's a secret. Girls have so many secrets. I just don't know what to do. Say, dearest Mel, would you run your fingers through my hair? Just for a little bit. What's gotten into you, Nellie? Why are you so hungry for attention all of a sudden? Please, dearest Mel. Oh, Nellie, what am I going to do with you? Come over here. And I want to sit on your lap. Yes, yes, as you wish, my beautiful, beautiful little princess. Say, dearest Mel, what is it this time, Nellie? Right now, I'm so incredibly happy. Oh, and out of curiosity, who was it that you really cared so much about? In a fevered frenzy, Mel fled from the mansion. Even in early summer, the night was cold. To make matters worse, raindrops pelted him from head to toe. That caused him little discomfort, for a far greater maelstrom of rain rampaged from within his breast. At night, the town took on a different appearance, not simply for lack of illumination, but the people active within it as well. So it's not a suitable place for a young aristocratic man to go wandering unattended. The darkness is not only the abode of devils, but beggars, thieves, criminals, and all manner of things undesirable. But despite that, he continued to run, knowing not where he was to head. He simply went where his feet took him, and where he arrived was the church. Father! Father! God should be able to offer me counsel, answer all my questions. That's why the priest was also so concerned of where she was from. About that painting, about her, and about Nellie's feelings. Not her lies, but the truth. Please, open the door. Open the door. As you might expect, the door was locked, and the priest showed no sign of responding to his calls. The sound of the pouring rain drowned out everything else. His head drooped feebly. He looked like a helpless little calf who had wandered alone onto a dark, precarious mountain path with no end in sight. Why? Why won't anyone tell me the truth? All I want for someone to tell me it's not true. Have I sinned? No, I didn't know anything. I don't know. Oh no, none of it is true. So I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not at fault, am I? Nevertheless, his sister claims and her laughs continued to echo within his head. If he truly believed it to be false, he would have gone to look at the painting. Then he could not. That he could not was an indication. Ooh, sorry. That he could not was an indication that uncertainty had a stronger grip on him. Fragmented images of a white-haired painter fluttered through the back of his mind, but he desperately shoved them aside. What good is the church? What good is theology? What good is God? Oh, something moved near the boy. It stood immediately behind him and grasped his light dressing gown. He had been so consumed in his world that he had not noticed the person's presence until they were close enough to touch him. Who are you? Standing there was a beggar, dressed in tattered rags. He's still begging at the church? The hooded beggar tentatively extended his hand toward Mel, pleading for relief with sad, slender fingers. Was he a generous young man? Were he a generous young man, Mel would have given the beggar something. Were he generous, of course. Lord, get your filthy hands off me. I don't have a damn thing to give you right now. Don't you dare touch me. Suddenly, the beggar's head turned upward. My eyes catch the beggar's. Her hood fell back, revealing a hairless head. Headless hair would be crazy. Why? And a pair of red eyes gazing bitterly through with a familiar glimmer at Mel. Red eyes. She immediately covered her face and turned to run. It can't be. The beggar's that's always been here was a... But you said yourself that it would not survive much longer. How could you be certain she was the same beggar? Wait for me. Perhaps as someone of such high social standing, all beggars appeared the same to you? Or perhaps you wanted to believe your meagerly generosity made a difference, that you did something of value. I will not say it is wrong to think so. Wait for me. I didn't expect her to do the beggar. I'm assuming she was the beggar the past 2 times. But I don't know if there were pronouns when the beggar was talking. I chase after the fleeting girl. Though I shout for her to stop, she continues to run. The rain is so heavy, I'm afraid I might lose her. I'm terrified. But I didn't do anything wrong, did I? I'm begging you, please stop. I just want to talk. She comes to a stop at a corner. Please do not go around this corner. It's you, isn't it? I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? What I said back there was terrible, and for that I'm truly sorry. I didn't realize it was you. Please come back to me. If you're concerned about social status, I'll figure something out. And Nellie's getting married off soon enough. Oh, yes, Nellie. Nellie did something horrible to you. Did some horrible things to you. She's lost her mind. She's talking nonsense. But don't worry. She'll be out of the picture soon enough. I'll make sure you're safe. Say something, please. Are you angry? You're angry, aren't you? I am not angry at you. I am not... Did you know everything? Did you come to her house, aware of everything? Well, did you? Tell me, please. The priest isn't around and everything Nellie says is a lie. You're the only one who would tell me it's not true. What are you? A relationship? I don't understand what you're saying. I see. You don't know. You don't know. It's for the best. Nellie's the only one who knows, and she'll be gone before long. Everything will be alright. Lord Mel. It'll all be alright. Let's go back. I'll make sure you're never put in danger again. I'm begging you, please stay with me. My appearance is no longer suitable to stand at your side. You saw how unsightly I am back by the church, did you not? Hair can grow back. That's not a problem. Now I truly look the part of the hideous witch. But I am to blame. It was a sin for me to find happiness in your kindness. What are you talking about? My sin was falling in love with you. Not what happened to my father. Nor how we had to spend our days. There's no sin in that. We have our whole lives ahead of us, don't we? With enough time, this whole tragic mess will be behind us. Things will only get better from here. I'll be your prince, like the one who took the girl to see the outside world. So please, give me your hand. Come to me. Don't leave me all alone. I need you by my side. Please. I extend my hand around the corner, since her hesitating from beyond the bend. I'm begging you. I can't see what's going on the other side, but a vision of her reaching out to put her hand in mine wells up in my head. But that story never had an ending. Well, she doesn't take my hand. I doubt the girl ever wrote that letter. She's not there when I turn the corner. Why? How did things end up like this? Where did I go wrong, oh God? Your error was likely your kindness, thoughtlessly, haphazardly spreading your generosity. But that generosity came from your own desire to avoid pain, for your own happiness. What should I have done? I can't take this. Everyone is happy. Nellie used to laugh and smile. She once meant the world to me. How did things end up like this? It's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. If you pretend like nothing happened, then perhaps they can go on smiling in your head. But regardless, you must follow the path you tread. It is your path alone, the path you chose, when, in that moment, you decided to run. Make the wrong choice in those moments, and you shall find yourself on the road to ruin. I would have been better off not knowing, better off in the dark. I just wanted those tranquil days to last. They were supposed to last forever. At some point, your childhood must come to an end. And that ending may not be the one you anticipated. I can't stand this world. Yearned for a world that would treat you with kindness. What should I do? What should I have done? Someone, please, help me. You should return now. If you spend too long out here, you are liable to catch cold. Let us return to our own time. Adjust my headphones real quick. The crestfallen young man faded into the distance, and the decrepit double doors clacked shut. The shattered glass, you could only see the ruins of a garden, not a single rose growing from within. Oh, through the shattered glass, I apologize. You had evidently returned from the past. In the garden, weeds grew taller than people. You found it difficult to look at. Wolf howled in the distance. The children, the sea of roses, and the white-haired girl were nowhere to be found. You and the maid, who called you master, were the only people present in the mansion. What happened to them next? Oh, master, you would know better than I. My, you cannot remember. Seem this is quite serious, then. Worry not. My loyalty lies with you, master. The mansion has witnessed more yet. Let us make way. Let us make our way to the second door. Your hand in hers, the maid guided you back to the kitchen and into the tea room. Her palms were still cold. You felt as though you were clenching ice. Master, do you wish to know the truth, no matter what may be hidden within? Or, if it is something you I cannot read. Or, if it is something you would be happier not knowing, would you rather remain in the dark? Oh, is that so? I wonder about their father. Yes, the flaxen-haired sibling's father. Do you think he knew about the white-haired girl? If he did, Then perhaps he allowed her to stay because of how deeply he loved his wife. Or maybe because she did not want people to find out. Or maybe because he did not want people to find out about her. I expect he too experienced many different emotions, but those pages of his story remain untold. The parents likely had a turbulent tale as well, but theirs is not of consequence. To whom? I could not tell you. You and the maid crossed through the entrance hall, continuing your trek. At some point, the fire in the fireplace had faded to embers, emphasizing the lack of light within the mansion. The maid took a candlestick and lit it in the cinders. A small flame illuminated her pale face. On a whim, you asked the maid about herself. About me. I'm a maid devoted to your service, master, I said. Well, what was that? You're interested in my name. You flatter me. Truly do appreciate the question, but you are more than welcome to simply call me the maid. As it would make me much happy to hear you say my name after you have recalled who you are, master. A subtle smile rose to the maid's face, after which she began to lead you down a first floor corridor. Still holding the maid's hand, you passed in front of a full-length mirror. Is there enough light from the candle? Is it gonna flash lightning and you see blonde hair or flaxen hair? In it reflected the warm light of the candle, which disappeared out of range shortly thereafter. Oh my, is something the matter? Did you come across something peculiar? The maid had not appeared in the mirror, though she was not the only one without a reflection. You reached the end of the corridor. There appeared to be a doorway, but the door itself was long since gone, leaving only a hole in the wall to frame the stairs behind it. Without hesitation, the maid descended into the darkness. You have more interest in this mansion, master, than a mere maid, do you not? Though it pains me to say, as much in your presence, master, this house is cursed. Yes, it is a curse that runs deep. As you just bore witness to the majority of those who dwell within these walls fall to misfortune. I have served here for many years, and periods of happiness are as fleeting as a sugar cube and a cup of hot tea. Why did such tragedies befall them? If I were to guess, master, it was because you had not returned. But when you remember your true self, the mansion's curse should be broken. The next door is before us. It appeared to be the entrance of a cellar. The disconsolate wooden door was visibly rotten in several places, and it seemed it might crumble at a single touch. We could hear the sound of something devouring meat beyond the door. Maybe there was a beast living within. Before you had a chance to say you thought it was dangerous, the maid opened the door with a chilling smile on her face. Your first impression was that it smelled of blood. The second door. "1707. This is 100 years into the future? The mansion sat in ruins, and in that era, not a soul resided within. The grandeur of the house was lost to the ages. It was in perpetual decline. Wait. Sidetrack. Maybe we are the witch. Who knows? That flower grew in the garden. Dust and dirt blackened the plaster. Cobwebs blanketed the corridors. Ivy shrouded the outer walls. It was not a pleasant sight. As hard as I tried to fight it, I could not stop the mansion's descent into disrepair. The depth of the previous owner's grief, perhaps despair, was far too much. After the beautiful flaxen-haired people stayed away from the mansion, they had no heirs, so the bloodline simply vanished into the depths of history. It had been about 50 years since the house last had a resident. The forlorn property appeared as though it had been abandoned for centuries, and the occasional villager who stumbled upon it did not remain there for more than a day. My time there was rather solitary. That was perhaps the loneliest time of my life. Everyone who visited the mansion feared it, and it was left without anyone to become its master. I even came to believe that my time serving as a maid would come to an end in this era. However, one day I noticed something out of the ordinary. As a servant of the house, I am almost immediately aware of any new presence within its walls, and there appeared to be someone downstairs. Can you imagine just how delighted I was? Though part of me was anxious about what person I might find, the possibility that it could be you had my heart flutter. So resisting the urge to rush, I headed for the basement. The cellar was where red wine, smoked meat, and other preserved foods were kept. By that point, the wine was practically antique. As I expected, a man has made... This is so loud, oh my gosh. And as I had expected, a man had made his way into the cellar. Is anyone there? Although I am unsure if referring to him as a man is entirely accurate. Oh my, this is quite something. The very first thing I sensed was an almost unbearable stench. The odor emanated from the man, heightened by the food he had carelessly rummaged through. Blood-red liquid spilled from wine barrels, soaking the floor. His sunken eyes had a piercing, wolf-like glimmer in them. His teeth were sharp and yellowed, visible as he ripped into a chunk of meat. He grumbled, and in a seemingly inhumane tongue. I was looking at a beast. Perhaps a half-beast. There was another source of odor in the room, though. Something kind of... It had something of a kind of metallic tinge to it, and when I noticed this, I nearly passed out. The red liquid was not just wine, as I had assumed. The beast had, I presume, stolen a weapon from the village. A sword far too nice for him lay on the floor by his side. I could hardly imagine how many people's lives he had taken with that blade. It was visibly wet with blood, and even in the darkness of the cellar, but at the same time, it had an imposing gleam. Fine, luscious aroma of the wine could not mask the stench of blood and the beast. Holding my breath, I took a few moments to ponder. Wonder what? Oh, master, you know. Tell me, were you summoned here by the mansion? Did you come here knowing what kind of place it is? If you are in want of money, you are welcome to help yourself to some of the furniture. And I imagine the villagers would be willing to welcome you if you dressed yourself up more like a person. Then you could trade the furniture for food and make your way to a larger town. The wolf was able to fool the innocent little girl simply by putting on clothing after all. Oh dear, I was afraid you wouldn't understand me. What am I to do? I was in quite the predicament. Nevertheless, it meant a great deal to me that I had found someone who did not fear the mansion, be they human or beast. So I decided I should give him my assistance, while doing my best not to agitate him. Say, could you perchance be my new master? The mansion sat near the ocean. Say it was perched upon a cliff might make it sound rather intimidating, but you could see the beautifully clear sea through the windows, a glittering expanse of emerald and turquoise. If the mansion had been in proper condition, it would have been breathtaking against that backdrop. I even wanted to plant orange trees in the garden. It was a tumultuous era. The sun still shone bright, upon the land, which only served to emphasize the house's unsightliness. Oh yes, perhaps I should give you more background information. At that period in time, our war had just drawn to a close. The once gorgeous wetlands were infested with crows picking at decaying remains. Bodies of soldiers fallen in battle continually washed up on the shore of the coastal villages. The people wanted nothing more than for the curtain to draw on that deeply political contest. When it finally did, the kingdom, which with its richly fertile shores, was stripped of its independence, beginning a new era under new rule. Those people were exhausted, their spirits wasted away. And the splendor of ocean and sky did nothing to help. In my mind, the beast was emblematic of the times, emaciated and enveloped in the scent of blood. But the war came to an end. Thus the beast did not have to remain a beast, I thought. Did he? And so I endeavored to make the beast more human-like. First, I needed to do something about his appearance. I would draw a bath, scrub away all the filth, and dress him in clothing left in the mansion. However, having sat unused for 50 years, the majority of garments had been devoured by insects and were of little use. So I searched the mansion top to bottom for anything the beast could wear, heated up some coals, and set to work ironing what I found. At the time, steam irons had not been yet invented. We used plates of iron heated with coals. They somewhat resembled kettles. I even prepared meals for the beast in order to teach him proper table manners. Although, with the mansion in a nearly uninhabitable state of disarray, there was only so much I could do in that kitchen. And the only supplies I had to work with were what was left in the cellar. As such, I was not able to put use to the cooking skills I had learned in the flaxen-haired family's time. Now, you mustn't eat with your hands. Do you want your fingers and face to get dirty? You eat using a fork and knife. See, like this. I feel like I'm teaching a young child. Oh my, what are you holding your head for? Oh dear. Perhaps I should be Sorry. Perhaps I should be teaching you to speak before table manners. Worry not. We have plenty of time. You needn't act so frightened. Or perhaps you do not want to be understood at all. Would you be so kind to tell me your name? You are, for now, still a guest. It is too soon for me to call you master. Or am I mistaken? Your name? That's what people call you. That is what people call you. How about I start by telling you my name? I'm called... Bestia. Your name is Bestia? I see. That is what I shall call you, Bestia. My, you seem rather perplexed as to how I was still alive. Had he in fact attempted to cause me harm, however, I am a servant of this house. The beast called himself Bestia. It is a curious thing. When I learned his name, he seemed to take on a new importance in my mind. He was not a mere beast, but the thing called Bestia. Master, should I ever have the chance to hear your name, I am certain you too shall become more substantial a presence. But you must always remember, Master, that even if you do not remember your name, and even if you never know mine, you have always held a special place in my heart. And I think I'm going to leave it there. We're at like 2 hours and something minutes, I believe. I believe the other part was like an hour and a half ish. So we're probably at more closer to 3. Um, I wanted to get to like one of the logo in the bottom right before I saved, but I think this is a good stopping point. We learned the beast's name, or what the beast wants to be called. We saw the end, or we saw what happened with the white-haired girl, Mel and Nellie. I'm still very confused on how Nellie put the hair together so she could put it on as a wig. But, you know, that's just being really, really nitpicky. But I am still just shocked that they were able to, or that they did, not were able to because they did it, but they put everything together slowly but surely. They'll lead you on so well, and it's so nice, but with that, I wish you guys well. Please like, comment, subscribe, whatever you'd like to do. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. I apologize for always stumbling over words, but my brain reads faster than my mouth can speak, so it's really hard for me to get it down just right, but hopefully I get better at that over the next few episodes. If you have any other suggestions for visual novels, please let me know. I know soon I want to play Stellaris after finishing this. That, or I'll continue playing the House and Fata Morgana series. I know there's more. Some of it has to be emulated on like PS4 or something, but hopefully emulation has gotten that far. I haven't been paying attention to it. But yeah. Anyways, hope you guys have a great one. Bye.